Welcome to the Alchemy Experience podcast, where transformation isn't just talked about, it's lived. I'm Erin, and around here, we're turning breakdowns into breakthroughs, pain into power, and survival into serious thriving. Whether I'm flying solo or vibing with a badass guest, we dive into all the things on health, creating beautiful relationships, and building wealth. We're keeping it real, raw, and ridiculously empowering. It gets a little juicy, a little bit wild, and super inspiring. This isn't just another podcast, it's your permission slip to evolve loud, proud, and on purpose. Let's go light the world on fire. Hi, guys. Welcome back to another episode of the Alchemy Experience podcast. Today, I had the pleasure of sitting down with Kijuan Amey, who is just one of the most remarkable human beings I have ever met. He is a author, a motivational speaker. He was a military man turned motivational guru. He has written a book called Don't Focus on Why Me, which shares his story of massive transformation, and you guys are in for a treat. I'm so excited that you said yes to be on this podcast and tell my peeps in my world about your story and who you are and bring a little bit of wisdom and inspiration to them. So you are a author, a speaker, a a transformational guru of all things. But tell my world a little bit more about you and what is on your heart to share with them today.
Yeah, absolutely. I appreciate you having me on first and foremost. And I'm sure it feels like it's been a month because we're both so busy and running to and
Yes.
fro,
Yeah.
all over the place. But for sure, I am Kijuan Amey from Durham, North Carolina. Geez, guys, she said, the professional author, coach, ambassador for the Air Force Wounded Warriors program, mentor, drummer, singer. Listen, I do so much. Sometimes I forget. And oh, don't forget, I'm an athlete because I am still an athletic competitor. Okay. Even though, like she mentioned with the things that I've been through, I lost my eyesight in 2017, among other things, in a motorcycle accident. But yet and still, I compete in adaptive sports, guys. Usually yearly, but here these past couple years, I've been doing a little bit more traveling for other things, such as, speaking and ambassadorship and mentoring and things of that nature, which is not a bad thing to me. I appreciate it. I love it. I really, really do love speaking, guys, and that's one of my biggest things that I thought never in a million years I'd be doing. I'm not even lying about that. So she's heard me speak. You guys are hearing me speak, and you're probably like, he's lying. And I'm like, no, I'm not. And I'm gonna tell you why. Because I remember the days of when I would have to get in front of not just like high school, because like grade school, come on, man. Like that's your class. You could joke around, clown around, all that stuff. That's cool. Now, when I took my public speaking class in college, yeah, that right there, I was like, hold on. We gotta do what? In front of who? You know? And then later on in my Air Force career, because yes, I served in the United States Air Force for a little over a decade as an in-flight refueling specialist. Um, that when I went into that career field, I became an instructor.
Mhm.
So as y'all can understand, leadership is a part of me, just in multiple ways, multiple ways. Not just speaking, not just mentoring, not just being an ambassador, in multiple ways. And so when I became an instructor in the United States Air Force as a boom operator, is the also known as, um, I had to do speeches
Mhm.
because I'm now teaching
Yeah.
this job. And not only are you doing it to a student, you may have to brief your whole entire squadron.
Mhm.
Oh, what? Wait, time out. I could do a one-on-one session, but an entire squadron,
Yeah.
and this can be hundreds of people, depending on how many, or how big your squadron is.
Mhm.
Maybe even thousands, because I've spoken over 1,500 before. You know
Wow.
what I mean? And so that was when we had our big weekend event and we were doing our farewell like kind of ceremony to the old plane that we had, which I call my dinosaur. And then we got a new plane. And so anywho, I was able to speak at that. I was so appreciative of that, by the way, because that was after my accident that they allowed me to speak there.
Wow, that's pretty
And
powerful.
yes, yes. Um, to the point where they also had a new commander coming in, but he's like an old new commander. What I mean by that is sometimes commanders come back around, like they cycle back around to that base, and that's what happened. He cycled back around as a bigger commander. Instead of
Cool.
a squadron commander, he was now a wing commander. You know what I mean? And so when he saw me, he was like, "Kiwi?" I was like,
I
I said, "Hi, sir. How you doing?"
look different now, but I'm here.
Yeah, yeah. I said, I know I'm not in uniform, but I'm still Kiwi. And so that was such an amazing moment, by the way, that I truly, truly cherished. Um, had some great photos and stuff of that moment. But anyway, leadership was always a part of me that I did not know.
Hmm.
I, I it came out somewhat in a leadership class I took back in ninth grade. And I think I'm going to advocate for that class again. And why do I say this? That class showed me something I did not know. I am so easy at being a clown, so easy, as you know, I'm very funny. So easy at, just jumping out and making jokes of people or making some funny noise or whatever. That's cool. You can be a clown all day, but to get in front of people and actually be the person in charge,
Hmm.
to be the one that people are looking at for answers,
Hmm.
to be the expert in the room. That's different.
Yeah,
That's what leadership is.
yeah. And
And so when that class and funny enough, the teacher who taught that class, Coach Piper, shout out to you, Coach Dave Piper.
oh,
Um, he's still in my circle. I do still have his phone number and we do communicate. And he follows me on social media. He sees my posts like the podcast and YouTube and all these different speaking engagements. He saw my winning trophy and he was like, "Look at you killing it." And
hmm.
I was like, "Hey, it all started in the ninth grade leadership class." And that's what I said.
Who
That's
knew, right?
exactly, yeah, I said that is exactly what my response was to him. It all started in the ninth grade leadership class. And so, it's just those things, the little things that
Mhm.
you don't realize are going to be that piece, that key piece to the puzzle that completes the image,
Yeah.
you
So
know, and yeah, go ahead.
yeah, like how do you think, so tell us a little bit about that because you didn't tap into that. I mean, it became organic, right? Like
Hmm.
it's in you as being a natural born leader. But
Hmm.
so much of your story, your upbringing, and what you went through as a young adult through this motorcycle accident, even like the things you had to do in the military probably didn't even compare to what you had to go through. And you had to lead yourself through this
Yeah,
process, right? So
yeah.
you were the one that other people relied on to lead. You were that icon, right? Of like, okay, this is our leader. Okay, we got to listen to him. Oh, he's speaking. Oh, and then all of a sudden, you had to lean into other people and let them lead you, and then
Yeah.
lead yourself through that process emotionally, mentally, physically. Tell us a little bit about that, how those early years of ninth grade leadership class transitioned and helped you through the process when you went through this accident and having to really reinvent yourself.
Mhm. Yeah, I mean, that was one of the, I guess you'd say, sparks of it,
Mhm.
to get me going. Again, I still hadn't adopted the mindset of it. That was the key. I needed that mindset. Yeah, I took the class, but it was kind of like, oh yeah, that's all checked off my list. Let's
Right.
move forward. But when you're reminded of it,
Mm.
when you're reminded of moments where, again, the teacher for that class kicks me out. You could probably guess why he kicked me out.
Feel a
Because
little too
I'm being
goofy.
funny.
Yeah.
You could probably guess
Yep.
because I'm being a
Class
nuisance to
clown.
the class, And so he kicks me out. And I'm like, what? You're kicking me out? I'm like, all right, whatever. So I go outside and I'm standing outside on the lockers, just kind of leaning up against the lockers, waiting on him to come outside and say whatever crap he's gonna say. That's how I'm thinking in my head, right? So he finally comes out after he gets the class started on their, lesson. He comes out, he said, what's wrong with you? I was like, what do you mean? He's like, why are you out here? I said, because you kicked me out. That's me. I'm gonna tell you straight to your face. I'm that type of person. Because you kicked me out. What do you mean why I'm out here? He's like, no, you know why I'm asking you that question.
Hmm.
Why are you out here? I was like, honestly, I don't understand the question because I just told you why. And he was like, you have way too much potential just to be wasting it on trying to be a class clown.
Mm.
And I was like, what? Like literally, I was like, what?
Had you ever heard that before? Had anybody ever told you that before?
I mean, not in those words, not
Yeah.
that way.
Especially
He
like a grown man who you looked up
right,
to is now saying to you, don't be a waste of talent, right?
right.
Yeah.
He has a gift, and I say that because he's a life coach now.
Hmm.
So it was kind of like he hadn't stepped into his role yet.
Hmm.
So he had a gift before his gift, and so he saw it in me that I have one too, and
Yeah.
I need not to be wasting it on this class,
Hmm.
on these people in this class when the world is my oyster.
Hmm.
And oh my gosh, what you can do if you just put your mind to it. You know what I mean? And so when he said that, I was like, what? Like, yeah, I'm a ninth grader. Maybe 14, 15 years old. Come on
Yeah.
now. Like, I'm not thinking about that crap. Like,
Right. Right.
and so now, I've been in trouble a couple times for being a class clown. Me and my friend Dylan Turner, we used to get in trouble quite a bit back in middle school, and Mr. Womack used to kick us out all the time. Okay, and so when they realized we two couldn't be together, they made sure they separated us. And I don't just mean from classes, or the same class in across the room. They separated us to make sure he was in one world history class and I was in another. Like that. They made sure we wasn't even in the same vicinity. That's how bad we were. But anywho, once I, got enough beatings, I realized I shouldn't do that anymore. And so, and so I put that energy into something productive. And that's where my sports journey started in school. So that's where that came in. But going back to what you mentioned about like military,
Yeah.
gosh, there were things in the military that kind of prepared me for leadership and the journey that I'm on now.
Yeah.
What do I say that? Why do I say that? So like boot camp,
Mm.
it made me grow up. I'm 19 and I'm like, yeah, I've never been this far from home. What
Mm.
do I do?
Mm.
I went from North Carolina to Texas. Okay, guys, what do I do?
Mm.
So, and I'm without my mom,
Hmm.
without my grandma, without my dad, without my brothers, without my sister. What do I do?
Hmm.
I'm in this big old bay with,
Getting yelled at.
yeah, alongside 60 other guys from all over the country.
Yep.
What am I doing? I don't know what to do with this.
Yeah.
And wait, I gotta stay here for 8 weeks? Oh, not 8 days, not 8 hours, 8 weeks. Okay, what do I do with that? I've never done this before. This is worse than college. And so, that had made me mature in a different way. Yes, I was able to write letters.
Hmm.
Yes, I was able to receive them as well. And then on Sundays, you make calls.
Hmm.
Back in the day, they used to pay phone, but we don't do that anymore. They actually got rid of all the pay phones off the bases now. And we use our cell phones. That was the only time you could get your cell phone
Mm.
was on Sunday during the call times. That's it. After that, you take the battery out and you put it up. Literally take the back. This is back when you could take your battery out of a
Yeah.
phone. You know what I'm saying? Like, just think of
For
that.
those of you youngins listening, there was actually
Right.
a
That
battery.
exactly. Like that's when you could take your battery out the phone. You know what I mean? And
Mm.
so you had to take your battery out the phone and keep it separated, like all the pieces, put it in a Ziploc bag and turn it back in. Man, you don't know how bad. As soon as I'm putting that thing down, I just burst into tears.
Leave it.
As soon as they called 5 minutes, I'm like, huh? Oh wait, hello. And so that helped me grow up and mature. The classes that they gave us, some of those classes, like resilience classes.
Mm.
So I've been learning resilience not just through sports, through my upbringing, but also actually taught in the military. You get taught about resilience.
Yeah.
So that is why am I a professional resilience speaker? This is all I know now.
Mhm.
Especially with this accident. This is all I know.
Mhm.
All I know is how to bounce back. And not just bounce back, how to move forward.
Yeah.
Because you can bounce back and get back to where you were, or you could go and be better.
Mhm.
And
So,
that's what I'm trying. I strive to be better. I don't just want to be what I was. I want to be better, and I'm already there.
mhm.
But I'm not done. That's the biggest thing. I am not done.
No, you have a whole world to
Oh
show
yeah, this is
that
just the beginning.
this, that this is something they can do too. It doesn't take an
Yeah.
accident to change you. You can lead.
That's another thing. Like I feel like so many people try to put me in a box
Hmm.
or a bubble. Like they see, oh, you had a motor vehicle accident. Well, how does that translate over to like speaking to a football team?
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, first off, you ever lost a game? Yeah,
Right.
okay, you lost a game. Okay. So when you lose, like I've lost,
Hmm.
you have to figure out how to be better than that loss, right?
Hmm.
So that's what I'm doing. Learning how to be better than my loss.
Hmm.
So I go out and I get training, I get school, I get assistive technology. Like there's so many. What I do is I go and find how to be better. What you do as a sports team is you go to team meetings, you go watch film, you go practice what you messed up on, you get prepared for the next team you're facing. Like there are many ways to carve this thing, but people try to box you in and bubble you
Hmm.
as if it doesn't relate. Come on, man. Let me be a professional here on why I'm the speaker. You just bring me in
Hmm.
and let my magic work. You
Love
don't ask a magician how does the magic work. He just does it, and you're like, "Ah, you're
it.
crazy."
He shows you. He shows you, right?
Exactly.
And
Let
that's
me
what you're
show
doing.
you.
You are
Yes.
showing up and showing out. I love it.
I'm about
I
to be
love
a, see, I'm about to deem myself a magician
it.
as a
There you go.
speaker.
Gonna
As
add
a
that.
speaker.
Speaker, author, magician.
But yeah, exactly. But
Amazing.
yeah.
I love it. So I have your book right here. And I'm going to in the show notes let people know how they can also get it. But from
Are
Motors,
you holding it up right
I
now?
am. I am.
Okay, so that's Don't Focus on Why Me, the book I wrote. I
Correct.
actually wrote, not a ghost writer, by
Yeah.
the way, guys. Just want to emphasize that. And yes, I was blind at the time of this.
Because you can do
Now,
hard
also,
things.
exactly. Now, also, I want to add the cover.
Mm.
So I used to be a photographer. That motorcycle on the cover is my actual bike.
I was going to ask you that question because I had a feeling because the way that it is formatted on the picture looks
Yes.
like a bike that you rode.
That was my bike that I had the actual accident on. The
Oof.
exact same. That is the bike,
Wow.
not like a picture I found on Google. That is the bike.
Wow.
And that backdrop with the trees and all of that, that's the lake of which I'm speaking about in the book that I was leaving from here in North Carolina. So what do you have here in this picture? You have two pictures that I took stitched together.
Amazing.
That's your cover.
That's amazing. So it's not just the words. Don't focus on why me from
Mhm.
motorcycle accident to miracle.
Yeah.
It's not just the words, it's the picture too. And
Yeah.
there's so much meaning behind
Oh
it.
yeah.
So
Hmm.
you really have come full circle in the transformation of leadership. You had to learn about that you even were a leader back in the day. And then that natural born talent brought you through things growing up and things through military. And then, even after the military, is when this accident happened, right?
Hmm.
So, tell us a little bit more. I know you spoke on this at the speaker competition, and I wish I could just take that entire speech and plop it in here because it was just unbelievable. I mean, standing ovation. It was so great. Um, but tell us what that experience was like from being a powerful man, athlete, of somebody who's in the military. You're like, man, my body is strong, it is athletic, I can go and, you know, go in foreign countries and fight if I need to. I have the mental and physical capacity to do this. And then your world was rocked by this
Oh
accident.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's exactly how you should put it, because that's really what I was doing. Like, at the time of my accident, I was a reservist. I did do 4 years active,
Hmm.
on active duty, and then I switched over and became a reservist for my last six. But at the time of my accident, I had, I mean, gosh, reserves, college full time to get my degree because I wanted to commission and become a pilot.
Oh,
Yeah, and the job, my business that I was telling you about, which I did website design and management, social media marketing, and photography. Like I had my own business. Sheesh, and I'm playing semi-professional football all at the same time now.
yeah. Like you just had like the world was your oyster, man. Like you were just
Literally,
like, I'm out here killing it. I'm here rocking it.
literally,
Yeah.
and so remember, this is all at the age of 25,
Mm.
and I'm doing all this. So you got all the energy in the world. I
Yeah.
mean, I am just running everywhere, doing everything. Literally, I'll give you an example of how energetic I was. I was on a 2 week trip to England, Milton Hall, England, for the Air Force. Okay, so I remember I played football, semi-pro football, okay, and we were in our season, and I was starting strong safety for our team. So we flew back on a Saturday from, and that's going, you're flying backwards in time
Hmm.
when you come back to the States from Europe. And so we flew back and landed Saturday morning ish, like almost hitting the afternoon. I jetted in my Charger, my Dodge Charger to my house, put on my uniform, my football uniform, got the rest of my stuff and threw it in the car, took off to the field, made it there by halftime in the same day. Hear me clearly. I just came from Europe
Hmm.
and I'm about to play a football game in North Carolina on the same day. That was the kind of person I was. You know what I mean? Like, and so getting back to the story, when I had this accident, which was leaving Jordan Lake here in North Carolina for any North Carolinians or anybody who's, been around this area, I was headed, I actually had to work that night. So I was getting ready to head to work to go to the work for military,
Hmm.
and there was an intersection that I was approaching. at about 55 miles an hour, which was actually the speed limit in this area. And a silver Honda Accord pulls out in front of me. What am I to do? Now you might think, oh, you could have, swerved out of the way. You could have, stopped the bike. Yeah, for those who's never rode a bike, go ride one and see, tell me what you could do. You know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
people don't even do that in cars. Like they be
Hmm.
like, ah, just throw their hands up and don't know what to do. You know what I mean? So what do you think I'm doing right now? I'm in panic mode right now. And so it's almost like this is a not one of those unreal moments is what you go and your mind is probably switched over to. This is not real,
Yep.
and so of course I impact the car. Really, I believe it was the backside, like as he was turning out, backside, and literally smacked face first into it. Literally, my face was crushed in. So I have two metal plates in my head. Like, you see that little line right here?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's forming of a metal plate. That's just one up. The other one is kind of helping the roof of my mouth shape out. And so the way I talk is because I had to, in a sense, kind of learn how to again,
Hmm.
which is fine. I mean, I sound great. I enunciate very well because they taught me to enunciate. I do sometimes have a little, like a lisp sometimes because I have a lot of chipped and cracked teeth where I had to get bridges and stuff put in. But I mean, you'd be like, what? I don't see that. You're not supposed to. I'm not making it that obvious. But, and then, I got the tracheotomy. I told you about my eyes. Like I have a ruptured globe. I think my left one is the ruptured one because I can't see anything out of it. I see a little bit of light perception out of my right eye. That one was actually popped out. It's crazy. Um, and then, like I say, I broke my spine from L4 to T2 is medically infused with two rods and 12 screws. Broke both of my legs to include my femur, which is the largest bone in your body, by
Hmm.
the way. Largest and most durable bone in your body. Broke. That shows you how big of an impact this was.
Yeah.
So that's metal. My left shin, which is your tibia, is a metal rod. I have I think I fractured my right fibia, and I have a screw in my right foot, which makes it a whole nother size, by the way. So my left foot is a 10, and my right is an 11.
That's fun when you're buying shoes.
Listen, it wasn't when I was spending $200 per shoe. I'm like, hey, why do y'all keep recommending these shoes and they suck? They were like, no, it ain't the shoe, brother. You might want to look into these. Oh man. And I was so ticked off because I was literally spending like 180, $200 a pop on some
Mm.
shoes and they weren't working
Mm.
until I go to the podiatrist and she's like, can you stand up for me? And I was like, okay. I mean, standing is not my problem. But she's like, hey, and then those things you see at the shoe store, the little metal things
Measure
you
your
see at the
feet.
shoe.
Yep. Yep.
She's like, put your foot on this. And she was like, huh, what size shoe did you say you wear? I said, a 10. She was like, huh, not according to this. And that's how I found out. That
Right.
was literally how I found out. Because I was so tired of my feet hurting and swelling and going numb. And like, y'all don't understand.
Mm.
I couldn't walk for long periods of time because of one foot. My left foot was like, I don't know what's wrong with him, but I'm fine. Like, you know what I'm saying? You could tell, hey, listen, I love these shoes. I don't know what's wrong with him. So yeah, that was like the craziest thing. But
So you literally had to learn how to somewhat rely on the shadow patterns because you couldn't see. You had to learn how to speak again. You had to learn how to
now, when
stand
you
up and
say
walk again.
shadow
You
patterns,
said you could kind of see like shadows or something,
no,
like
just
the
light.
light. Oh,
No shadows, shapes, figures, none of that. So it's just a little, and it's got to be bright, like the like sunlight,
oh,
and or that light from like the eye doctor, where you're just like, come on, man.
oh, gotcha. So like you are full on, can't even see shadows. So you're just like, I'm
Yeah,
here. I know the sun's up, but that's all,
yeah, that's
right?
it. That's
So,
it.
so you had to rely on those other senses. That's why some of those are really strong, what we were talking about
Yeah.
here. But you had to learn how to rely on your hearing, probably more
Yeah.
so because you couldn't
Oh
see.
yeah.
You had to learn how to speak again. Your jaw
Mm-hmm.
was wired shut at one point, right? I remember
Yeah.
saying that in the when you were speaking.
Yeah, it
On
was broken. It was broken.
Yeah, and you have metal throughout your whole body where you're, you know, s- having to learn.
TSA is fun.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's gotta be a good time, right? So
It's
learning
like, hey, hey, time out. Get over here.
yeah, yeah. Then they scan your whole body and they're like, wait a minute,
Uh,
you're robotic. So you had to learn how to stand, learn how to walk, learn how to communicate. You would lead yourself heart
Listen,
through this process, man. That is,
that walking thing, I don't wish that on anybody,
mm.
especially not the way I had to do it.
Well, and you were an athlete.
Well, that plus the simple fact that, so my right foot, I told you how bad it
Yeah,
was, but also the, I forget what they call it, like dorsiflexion or something.
yeah,
It's
yeah,
basically how your foot like flips, like goes up and down,
yeah.
like the hinge at the ankle. It didn't do that anymore at that time. It stayed flexed down.
Mm,
So if I were to wear shorts, you would be able to understand what I'm talking about. There's like a what I call a shin muscle right there now, and it's literally like a muscle. And it's because it was flexed that whole time, and I had to walk on it
mm,
to try and get it to come down.
yeah.
It was literally stuck.
Wow.
Like, and I keep saying literally because I want you to understand I couldn't move it.
Mm-hmm.
And they were doing, even the people who were trying to flex my foot couldn't move it.
Mm-hmm.
It was like my brain said, I don't know what you're trying to do. But you know what I mean? It ain't happening. And so they would come in there and they would stretch my foot like every day,
Mm,
at all the time, just to see if it would loosen up, just to try to get it loose. And eventually it would, or it did, shall I say. So I can like pick my foot up, but it's like maybe a little bit compared to the left foot. You know what I mean?
yeah.
Is put it this way, I worked very hard to get my foot back to where it is now. And I'm a drummer,
Mm,
okay? I need my right foot to kick the bass.
yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So if I don't have that flexion, I probably could have still done it, but it would have been nothing like what I'm used to. I've been playing drums since I was 7.
Yeah. To
And
pass.
so, oh yeah, no, that's my passion right there. That's my baby.
Mhm.
That's why they're red too, because it's my favorite color. So that's a passion. So anywho, like walking, what I'm saying about that, I was maybe, I think like 140 pounds when I was bedridden.
Mm,
Like when it started, they got me back trying to walk again. I lost all muscle was gone. I was literally trying to pull myself up out of the bed,
mhm.
and it was like, I mean, you probably can't tell now, but back then, oh, I didn't have none of that, none of it.
Yeah.
And so what I'm saying now is like, or back then was having to hold yourself up on those parallel bars to take steps.
Mm,
And I mean like little baby steps. I ain't talking about nothing like, oh yeah, here we go. No, 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 no. None of that. We like shuffling, okay?
mhm.
It's one thing to do it when you're like, I don't know, 15, 20, maybe 25 pounds as a baby. It's another thing to do this when you're 140 pounds
Yeah.
and your foot's jacked up and you broke both of your legs, your spine. Like you can't see and you have no muscle. That's a whole different thing, okay?
Mm.
I don't care what anybody says. And I was just like, this sucks. Like literally, it sucked. I don't know what other way to put it. other than that. And so what I will say, yes, that was like, a downhill moment. But what I will say is they knew when I was coming to PT. When I was at UNC hospital, they knew when I was coming to PT. Why do I say that? When my wheelchair crossed through the threshold, I'm like, crank up the music. We gotta work. We got some work to do. They
They
used to
knew.
love when I came in there, you
Yeah.
know?
Yeah. They
So
knew you were coming in hot.
coming in hot,
That's
okay?
awesome. That's
So I love to leave impressions everywhere I go, not just with you.
But you probably those were days that were somewhat good, but there were definitely days
Yes.
I know you've spoke to that were hard like that. Like this
Yeah.
sucks. And what got you through those days?
The days that were hard. I'd say me kind of trying to find things that are that are part of me in a sense.
Mm,
So I would like play music,
mhm.
like some of my favorite music, like songs and stuff. Like, hey, mom, could you like play this song for me? To uplift my spirits.
Right.
I had one friend, he would come to the hospital. He said, hey man, have you heard your song today?
Mm,
And I would just start smiling and say, uh-uh. Even if I had, I would just say no, just so he could play it. Like those types of things.
yeah. So the
And
people, the music.
people, listen, oh, that's a huge one. The I had somebody come by, and there might have been maybe one day that nobody was there.
Wow.
Maybe one that I can recall. And literally somebody would come by, whether it was family, friends, co-workers,
Mm,
church members, somebody was going to stop by and say hello. And
amazing.
I loved it. It
Yeah.
was so amazing, I wrote about it in my book actually. And then the prayer, my faith, the
Mhm.
prayer wall that was created for me. And what that means is not particularly in person, but around the clock, people are praying for you.
Mhm.
Literally, they had a 24-hour prayer wall going for me when I was in my coma.
Mm,
I was in a coma for a month. That's 30 days
mhm.
of 24 hours. People are praying for me. Just think about that for a second. What do you do when you're 24? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I was so appreciative of that, and I think that included like three different churches like coming together to put somebody on the like praying every hour. Like but it was so amazing. I was so
You could feel
appreciative.
it. You could feel it.
Yeah, I was so appreciative of that, you
Yeah.
know.
Yeah. That's amazing. So your faith was a huge piece. And then
Absolutely.
and the people that prior to the accident that you had intentionally put in your world to
Hmm.
be good, uplifting people, you cultivated that. You created, a tribe that
Hmm.
around you in that time of need, which is huge. Uh,
Yeah.
so two components, and then the things that really you loved, just music, maybe watching football or sports probably got you through some things too, just to kind of get you some motivation.
That's kind of a two-way street, man, because it's like that double-edged sword they talk about.
Yeah.
It's great when you're watching it. You're like, oh yeah, I can understand what's going on. And then I would fall asleep, right? So
Mm.
here's the double side to that sword. I would fall asleep while listening to it. And your ears never stop
Yeah.
when you fall asleep. So I'm still listening to this thing while I'm asleep. I don't even realize I fell asleep, but I'm asleep. And then my mind is creating imagery off of what it's hearing from the TV. Now I feel like I'm watching, literally watching, physically watching this game.
Mm.
And I wake up and I'm like, oh shoot,
Mm.
I still can't see.
Yeah. It's hard.
And those were those moments that like will regress me.
Hmm.
And I'm like, mother, you
Hmm.
know,
Hmm.
but I swear, Aaron, I knew it was real. Like it was so real. because it was vivid in my head when I was asleep. I know I could see.
Yeah.
But I'm telling you, man, the power of your mind is ridiculous.
Yeah. Well, you are absolutely changing everything in your world. I mean, you had to in order to get to this point, and that was the power of your faith, the power of the people you put in your corner, and relying on changing your mindset. And every step,
Hmm.
metaphorically, that you took would help you gain that. Now, watching you walk onto that stage, yes, unfamiliar territory, said you had your cane to kind of figure it out, but standing up there, watching it, you would never know. You would
Yeah.
never know. You have definitely a physique of somebody who is an athlete, who works out, who takes care of himself and, can move your body. And I know just based off of being a social worker that's worked in the medical field at times that I know that the body is capable of remarkable things
Hmm.
and remarkable healing, but it takes the mind to do that.
Right.
So
Right.
you are the epitome of that, which is this book is amazing, and your story is absolutely miracle. There was a reason why you are with us. There is a reason
Hmm.
why you wheeled into those rooms and told those ladies, let's get this going. Let's pump it up. There is a reason
Pump it
why,
up.
this was all placed on your heart, and something that could be looked at as a complete unfortunate, accident is actually something that propelled you to something bigger and better that you might have never done if this didn't happen.
Very true.
So you are changing lives because your life was changed and
Yeah.
would have never been able to change their lives if that didn't happen. So this is
Hmm.
something that, definitely a miracle. You're a walking robotic miracle.
Absolutely.
I love it.
Absolutely.
I love it.
Yeah.
So there's just so many questions I have for you and so much of your story I want to talk, but that, we'll have to leave a little bit for people to purchase your book. I will put that in the show notes on how to tap into your world and how to purchase this, get to know you, follow you. Where would you say on social media that you hang out the most? What's the best platform for people to find you?
Uh, the one that I'm on the most is probably Facebook. I
Yeah.
do bounce around between all though, like so Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, not so much TikTok, but I do post on there.
Hmm.
YouTube. So like, and then of course my podcast is, YouTube and, all the major platforms.
Perfect.
So,
Yeah. And so I will put all of those links in the show notes so people can just click on it and tap into your world and start following you from that are in currently in my world. And um, you know, you are open to speaking on more stages. You
absolutely.
are, whether it's virtual or in person, and
Hmm.
connecting with people to see how you can support them in their growth. So please, please, please tap into his world. I'm telling you guys, I'm watching you, I'm seeing your growth, and I've just really met you. So but I also feel like I've known you forever because the way you're able to story tell, it brings you right into your world and you can pick up right where you want them to, which is so cool.
Yeah,
So, I'll put all that info in there and maybe we'll do a part two someday. But
I'm with it.
yeah, so what I like to ask everybody at the end of the show, I ask this question to every single person because it's just my favorite question. But if there was one word, phrase, or tidbit of information that you want to leave with the people today, what would that be?
Wow. One thing that I would say, and this is going back on, I don't know if you were there for this one, but I said this on stage and it holds true. And I will hold on to this forever. When someone tells you you can't, show them why you can.
Mm, Ooh,
And
mic
that's
drop.
what I'll leave y'all with. Yeah.
Yeah. Show them why you can. Yeah.
Yeah.
And it might take time, right? Might
Yeah.
take time, but in the end, you're going to show them. Amazing. Well, this has
Hmm.
been such a beautiful conversation. Again, I could like sit here and talk to you all day, but out of respect for your time and my time and the people's time that are listening, we will end with that. Show them why you can. And that is that. Well, thank you so much for being here. And of course, we will talk soon.
Thanks for having me.
Thanks for tuning in to the Alchemy Experience. If this episode lit something up inside you, go ahead and share it with someone who's ready to rise too. Be sure to subscribe, leave a review, and connect with me online on all social media at the Alchemy Experience. Because transformation loves company, and together we all rise. And hey, don't just survive this week. Thrive like you frickin' mean it. Let's go let it up. Talk soon.